Greetings and hello everyone, and welcome to this, our very special and somewhat unique graduation day 2020. Well, I mentioned unique. This, of course, is a virtual graduation, somewhat coming from the interesting times in which we currently live. As we're all aware, earlier this year, our lives changed significantly, both professionally and personally. The current global situation has made businesses, individuals think differently, act differently, and most importantly, apply a different perspective to what we do and how we do it. We at SP Jain were not precluded from that in any way. We too had to think differently as to how we were going to present a graduation ceremony when we couldn't all gather together. So hence we have a virtual graduation. I hope you enjoy it. After all, particularly for our students, it is the culmination of a long time, hard work, discipline, sacrifice, and I'm sure a little fun along the way as well. So sit back, find a nice comfortable position, join us all here at SP Jain, and I hope you enjoy the graduation ceremony 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will shortly be entering the hall. Once the academic procession has entered, I'll be asking you to all join and sing the Australian National Anthem. I now invite Edwin John, a GMBA student, January 19, Masumi Shankar, MGB, January 19, and Debalina Basu, MGB, May 18, to lead us all in the National Anthem, Advance Australia Fair.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We go to soil and land fertile, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gift of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page let every station advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath the radiant Southern Cross we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this common world the lands renowned over the lands. For those who come across the sea, we boundless plains to sail. With God reject us all, combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia
Thank you, students, for that very stirring and fine rendition of the Australian National Anthem, Advance Australia Fair. I would now like to introduce the head of campus at the SP Jain School of Global Management, Dubai campus, Professor Christopher Abraham.
Distinguished guests, friends, family, and most of all, the special people for this day's special occasion, the pending graduates. On behalf of Team SP Jain, a very warm welcome to this very special day. Graduation days are really very special days. A day to celebrate, a day to reflect, a day to look back and thank all the people who are responsible for you to be here at the culmination of a beautiful learning journey. And on this moment, it's a time to reconnect with friends, time to reconnect with faculty, and time to reconnect with the fond memories that you had while you traversed on this beautiful path, with support from family, from teachers, and of course, your fellow friends and colleagues. And now I invite Rijul Gandhi, student of the Global MBA cohort of January 2019, to recite the SP Jain prayer.
O gracious and almighty God, we thank you for all that you have done and all that you are going to do. From our beginnings from afar, you brought us this far. We thank you, Lord, for helping us to light the lamp of this knowledge. Give us a vision of our place in your purpose and guide us in all that we do through your divine wisdom. Spirit of God, fill our hearts with the desire to seek the truth and rejoice in the beauty of your creation. Help us to know what is pleasing to you and to understand what is right and good in your sight. Give us the spirit of learning that we may please you by our thoughts and love you for your grace. Give us all the thought of your constant encouragement and guide us in all our work. Holy Spirit of God, make us effective witness of your truth to all whose lives we touch. And through the knowledge acquired here, help us to make a difference in the world that we live in. We ask this in your mighty name.
Thank you, Rijul. And now I'd like to invite the chairman of our board, Emeritus Professor Dr. Clifford Blake, to formally declare the convocation open. Dr. Blake.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the name of the Board of Directors, I declare this congregation of SP Jain School of Global Management duly assembled. I welcome you to this graduation ceremony. A graduation ceremony occurs when a student has passed all examinations and fulfilled other practical requirements and is deemed ready to receive their award. Normally, the award is presented in the presence of a large assembly of admiring parents, families and friends. But regrettably, things are different this year because of the restrictions on international travel and assembly imposed by the COVID-19 virus. The creative, technical and administrative staff, recognising the importance of graduation, have developed a virtual graduation ceremony to which I now warmly welcome you. To complete their award, students travel from many different lands to Dubai, and during their course may have also visited our other campuses in Singapore or Sydney. Each is about to receive an award that is fully recognised by the Australian educational authorities and which as a result is widely accepted around the world. It is your passport to a successful professional career. You join an alumni of many thousands of graduates from many different institutes of higher education. As a graduate, you will be expected to act at all times in a fully professional way and to accept leadership responsibilities in your profession. I congratulate each of you graduating today and wish you a long, satisfying and fulfilling career. I now invite the President of SP Jain, Mr. Nitish Jain, to deliver his address.
our guest of honor, Rajan Anandan, Chairman of the Board, Professor Clifford Blake, Deans, faculty and staff, and families, and most importantly, our graduates for today. A very warm welcome to today's graduating ceremony. No virus could stop us from celebrating this very special day. When you hear the introduction of our guest of honor, Rajan, a few minutes from now, you would perhaps appreciate that a stalwart like Rajan wouldn't have the time to come in person to deliver the graduation address. But he's with us today for this online graduation ceremony. And my graduates, you would always remember that you had Rajan Anandan as your guest speaker for the graduation ceremony. Graduates, congratulations from all of us at SP Jain. You have done it, and from today onwards, you can call yourself a proud alumnus of SP Jain. Graduating today, we have graduates of our DBA scholars, and they have spent 3 long years to graduate. I don't think any one of them would have joined the program if they knew how arduous the journey would be. But today they can call themselves doctor. They can use the prefix of doctor, and how awesome is that? We also have graduating students of our EMBA, GMBA, and MGB cohorts. They too have worked very hard. So all our graduates, a very big and hearty congratulations from all of us at SPJ. Today is a day of celebration, but it also marks the end of one chapter of your life and the beginning of a new chapter. Now, one of the first things you may think is that why am I not in a Singapore boardroom wearing a nice black shining gown with a hat? And you may begin to curse your bad luck. But let me share with you that no successful person has not had adversity in their lives. And you only have to think of Prime Minister Modi or Lee Kuan Yew or Jack Ma. But do you know Haresh Balani or Kumucha or Manoj Jain or Chaitanya Chanduri? No, you don't know them? But let me share with you that each of them was a graduate of the SP Jain GMBA 2009 cohort. In the middle of the financial crisis is when they graduated. It was a bad time, it was a tough time, and they faced a lot of adversity. But let me share with you that today, Haresh is a senior investment manager with the Abu Dhabi sovereign fund called ADIA. Kumud is a director of Accenture Strategy in Singapore. Manoj is a principal at the Tata Strategic Group in Mumbai. And Chaitanya is the country lead for AR and VR with Google India. That's awesome. Now, bad things happen to you. And unfortunately, you just have no control over it. And there is no point in cursing your bad luck or somebody. Adversity happens, but how you control yourself in the situation is what differentiates winners from other people. You've got to remain positive, you have to be resilient, and you have to be resourceful. So I end my short address by welcoming each of you to be a proud member of our alumni community. We have more than 8,000 alums all the way from the US to Australia. And you can network with them for business reasons or personal reasons. But it also comes with some responsibilities. Everyone, as in other people, would judge the school through your performance and for your character. Please remember these points at all times. I wish each and every one of you nothing but the very best of luck, and may God bless all of you.
We now have reached the portion of today's ceremony that I know that all of you, particularly our students, have eagerly been awaiting, and that is the conferral of your graduate degrees. We will start by presenting the degrees to our Master of Global Business graduates, followed by the Global MBA and Executive MBA students, and then our DBA scholars.
Would the graduates of the Master of Global Business please stand? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors, I hereby admit you to the degree of Master of Global Business. Would the graduates please be seated?
Mr. Chairman, as Dean of the Master of Global Business Program, I present to you distinguished graduates who have been conferred with the degree of Master of Global Business. They have excelled and earned their place on the Dean's list for achieving a cumulative grade point average in the top 10% of the class at the end of at least one or more than one term. Thank you.
With 3 Dean's List medals, we have Ashutosh Tulsia and Cheena. With 2 medals, we have Madhu Bhavanaranya and Sarthak Arvindai Patel. And finally, with 1 medal each, we have Anish Krishnan, Dhruv Shivraj Gache, Hugh Tien Nguyen, Ho Tai Chuan, Kane Alfred Gonzalez, Lee Tan Dang Wong, and Mandeep Singh Gulraj. And with that, I present our MGB Dean's Listers.
I now ask the Chairman of the Board of Directors, Emeritus Professor Clifford Blake to confer the remaining degrees of Master of Global Business.
Ayush Daga, Abhay Tiotia, Abhinav Hembron, Abhishek Kumar Singh, Adira Nurani Vaidyanathan, Aditi Jain, Aditya Deshpande, Aditya Gupta, Akash Jain, Akhil Eranki, Akshay Patil, Aman Malhotra, Angad Mukund Shah, Anjali Asawa, Anuja Ambadas Chudari, Kameli Dane Pikio Tenplanza, Dan Bishnok, Darshit Jain, Debolina Basu, Dias Zin, Falguni Chittaranjan Thakur, Gulzanat Casanova, Gurunash Singh, Harry Ramadan Sumadi, Harsh Jain, Kridesh Karakida Harandarayan, Jiung Kim, Karan Goenka, Maria Carissa Guillermo, Masuli Shankar, Mayank Jain, Mayurish Deshpande, Mahul Lakina, Mohit Agarwal, Moshin Mahmud Sheikh, Nai Huen Fan, Nihal Hassan, Namis Shrivastava, Nishita Pashatam Lawani, Natish Jain, Pranjul Gogard, Prashant Ben Katrami, Priyanka Prem Suchdev, Purva Purohit, Rowan Bansali, Sai Diraj Reddy Kakutia, Sarthak Das, Shabab Punjabi, Shantanu Guha, Sashwat Sashank Kulkarni, Shatij Singhar, Shrivardhan Manhanya, Shrunga Gubi Shivarati, Sonal Kapoor, Sumit Srivastav, Tanvir Singh Bakshi, Tejas Kailash Pansari, Tushar Kanzra, Uttam Shri Krishna Datya, Vamshi Vardhan Reddy Appamagari, Varun Lokandi, Venkata Bhavitha Yakala, Venkatesh Govindarayan Chitala, Virahan Navandut Manchildari, Vivek Agarwal, and Vivek Nareddy. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the presentation of the Master of Business graduates.
Would the graduands of the Global Master of Business Administration please stand? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors, I hereby admit you to the degree of Global Master of Business Administration. Would the graduates please be seated?
Mr. Chairman, as Dean of the Global Master of Business Administration program, I present to you distinguished graduates who have been conferred with the degree of Global Master of Business Administration. They have excelled and earned their place on the Dean's list for achieving a cumulative grade point average in the top 10% of the class at the end of at least one term or more than one term.
With 3 Dean's List medals, we have Shruti Dhanwantari and Siddhartha Das. With 2 medals, Ashita Agarwal, Omar Vasim Baig, Nitin Kanujia, and Sarah Siraj Disawal. And finally, with 1 medal, we have Jyoti Ranjan Mohanty, Rijul Gandhi, and Vishu Kumar. And with that, I present our GMBA Dean's Listers.
I now ask the Chairman of the Board of Directors, Emeritus Professor Clifford Blake, to confer the remaining degrees of Global Master of Business Administration.
Ayush Khatri, Abalakshya, Abhinav Gupta, Abhinav Kash, Abhishek Sakya, Arnav Kumar Biswas, Arpan Thakur, Bayu Vishnu Ajit, Bhavin Aip Matthew, Bodhisatya Bhattacharya, Disha Sanjay Desai, Edwin George John, Fatli Paina Siriga, Harsh Vadan Rajuvanshi, Ho Yu Wei, Janil Prakash Shah, Kunal Huda, Muhammad Amir Vasi, Niket Jiten Mehta, Nishi Agarwal, Path Pratim Singh, Falguni Gupta, Priyanka Rajesh Bhattijay, Rishabh Arora, Rohit Ranjit, Rusha Kamlesh Mehta, Sachin Dixit, Shiran Srivatsa, Shivam Baheti, Shevtank Pandi, Shweta Chandrakant Joshi, Sonali Santosh Tiradkar, Tanmay Joshi, Tejas Vinod Pandit, Urvatsi Mehenosh Elavia, Vaibhav Thakur, Vaisak Bala Krishnan, Vasha Rao, Varun Kashyap Kuravan, and finally Venkat Avinash Damarasinghe. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the presentation of our GMBA graduates.
Would the graduates of the Executive Master of Business Administration please stand? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors, I hereby admit you to the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration. Will those graduates please be seated?
Mr. Chairman, everyone, as Dean of the EMBA programme, I present to you with great pride the graduates who have been conferred with the degree of EMBA. They have excelled and earned their place on the Dean's list for achieving a cumulative grade point average in the top 10% of their class at the end of at least one or more than one term.
On this virtual graduation day, we have 3 executive MBA cohorts who are all graduating from either Singapore, Mumbai, or Dubai. So let us begin with the EMBAs from Singapore. With 3 Dean's List medals, we have Saptak Sanyal. With 2 medals, Arpana Kasaraboina, Archana Joyce, Jason John Wilson, and Nancy Dameja. And with 1 medal each, Amitosh Raj, Harshit Sharma, Man Mohan Pandey, and Prabhajot Kaur. From MBA, EMBA Mumbai with 2 medals, we have Glenn Machado, Nishit Nitin Modi, Shreyanash Navin Chandra Shah, and Snehal Madhavrao Wajag. And with 1 medal, Viranshi Purohit. From EMBA Dubai, with 2 medals, we have Manda Suresh Luktuki. And with 1 medal, Wahidur Rahman Samir Rahman. And with that, I present our EMBA Dean's Listers.
I now ask the Chairman of the Board of Directors, Professor Clifford Blake, to confer the remaining degrees of the EMBA.
Presenting the graduates from our EMBA Singapore, we have Abhay Kumar Jha, Aditi Pal, Ajinkya Vilas Kadam, Amit Sudikumar Jain, Anant Bal, Anisha Uberoi, Anupam Pramanik, Anushri Anantrao Badami, Aribabu Vijaya Kumar, Ariel Paul Vincenti Ruaro, Chinoz Chungaf Jose, Dion Cheryl Ann Perillo, Fasuka Kiranaki, Giridharan Samaskandan, Harsh Vardhan Mishra, Su Chi Chen, Hyun Ju Yung, Indrajit Singh, Jagdamba Notial, Jazel Cordero Capelto, Kolapali Ravi Kumar, Madhav Mohan Karagal, Mamta Sharma, Manish Dhingra, Mark Harrington H, Muhammad Mustafa Rashid, Muthu Kumar N, Muthu Palanapan, Nicholas Garrido, Nilanjan Sinha Roy, Nishtha Mata, Padma Priya Manakaran, Prakar Agwal, Prasant Murakoli Kanoff, Radhika Chabria, Rahul Nair, Rajiv Chatterjee, Rajayashri Jeswal, Ravindra Goni, Rui Manuel Fernandez Texiera, Rupali Sharad Dangra, Samson V. Malon Matsal, Sandeep Kumar, Sanjay Roy, Satish Kumar Guntuka, Sudan Aputharaj, Trivedi Chintan Kumar, Turan Kumar. Vijay Lakshmi, Radha Krishnan. Vivek Sajdanan, Dayani. Yamini Pudapatya, Jeffrey Dermawan Wianya, and Yud Hiyaji Ku Kushuma. And now from EMBA Mumbai, we have Abhishek Mota. Amay Sajika Kulkarni. Ashana Chakrabarti. Bhavya Saxena. Jitin Sashikant Kanda. Kanchan Bhatia. Kapil Bikaji Pawar. Karishma Pratayush Kanda. Keith Dominic D'Souza. Lalini Thakur. Mohammed Zayed Siddiqui. Neelapal Kumar. Pratakash Praveen. Pravan Dattatray Gadadi. Raju Anthony Punila Parambu. Ranjit Bhagava. Ritesh Lakshmarayan Gupta. Rohit Ranjit Kumar Grover. Sahil Khanna. Satyan Sailesh Soni. Sivakumar Subhash Menon. Sunil Viramani Iya. Swapnil Kishore Wade. And Tahseen Ali Khan. And lastly, from EMBA Dubai, we have Adnan Nisar Quadri, Anupam Kumar, Nabil Raman Thupanath, Roshan Ramachandran Nair, Utkarsh Jain, and Zamir Ahmad Hakim. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the presentation of our EMBA graduates.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to a very special part of this graduation. We're about to admit our first students to a Doctor of Business Administration. This is the first time that this award has been granted, and it represents the apex of the academic hierarchy of awards. So these graduates are deserving of our very special recognition today. Would the graduates of Doctor of Business Administration please stand? By the authority vested in me by our Board of Directors, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Business Administration. Would those graduates please be seated?
Mr. Chairman, as Dean of Doctor of Administration, I present to you the distinguished scholars who have been conferred with the degree of Doctor of Business Administration. I congratulate all the learned doctorates and wish them a bright future.
Well, everyone, today is special in another unique way. It's time now to present our DBA graduates. And it's a very special occasion for them, of course, but it's also a special occasion for SP Jain because this is the very first set of graduates from that program. So we congratulate and we acknowledge Dr. Chavi Parikh, Dr. Jayantak Ghosh, Dr. Julie Louise Cowley, Dr. Martin Leo, Dr. Ritu Gupta, Dr. Shweta Tiwari, and Mr. Chairman, that concludes the presentation of our very first DBA scholars. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to invite Roshan Nair, one of our graduates from the EMBA Dubai cohort, to read the student pledge. And for this, I would ask all our graduates to please stand. Thank you.
Please repeat after me. We, the students of the graduating batch of SP Jain School of Global Management, commit ourselves this day to all our stakeholders with full dedication and integrity, upholding the interests and values of our organization. We express our intrinsic desire and wholehearted commitment to bestow the best to society, peers, family, and to the world at large. In discharging our responsibilities and enhancing the value propositions of all moral and social endeavors in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Roshan. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as a special moment in our graduation ceremony, once again I'd like to invite Senior Vice President, Institution Development and Head of the Dubai campus to introduce today's occasional speaker. Please welcome again Professor Chris Abraham.
Imagine doing a graduation as a bachelor's in mechanical engineering at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and then moving on to do your master's in manufacturing systems engineering at Stanford University. And after this, starting your professional career with one of the most respected consulting firms in the world, McKinsey. Stay with them for 11 long years, doing all kinds of exciting stuff. Then moving on to Dell as vice president and executive assistant to the president. Moving on to Microsoft India as managing director for Microsoft India. Then 4 years later, move on to Google as Vice President India and Southeast Asia, leading Google's business teams in India and Southeast Asia. And then today, the Managing Director of one of the largest, most successful investment companies in the world, Sequoia Capital and Surge. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to introduce the occasional speaker for the day, Mr. Rajan Anandan, Managing Director, Sequoia Capital and Surge. Mr. Anandan.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I'm honored to be joining you virtually on this very important day. This probably isn't how you imagined your graduation would be. But the important thing to remember is that you're here, you're safe, and you've achieved a very big goal today. So give yourself a moment to take that in. I'm Rajan Anandan. For those of you who don't know me, I'm currently one of the managing directors of Sequoia Capital India, a venture capital firm. I started my career at McKinsey & Company in Chicago, and then went on to Dell, Microsoft, and eventually Google, where I led Google's business in India and Southeast Asia. But a long time ago, before any of that, I was where you are now, except I didn't graduate at such an unusual time in the world. To think that when you started this graduate degree program, you did not know that you'd be grateful for any face-to-face interaction, or that simple act of going to a coffee shop or a restaurant would be something you would yearn for so much. One thing's for sure, some people may forget when they graduated, but you are never going to forget that you graduated in the middle of COVID-19. Think about this. There have never been graduating classes in human history that have had fully online commencements. This year, all over the world, you are joined by students going through the same experience as you. Graduating in a time like this may make you feel uncertain. You may feel worried about the world, about the future, and about things that are out of your control. And that's okay, and that's normal. But let me try in the next few minutes to give you a glimpse of what you can control versus what you cannot. The most prolific leaders I have met and interacted with throughout my career have all had several common traits. All of them embody the true spirit of being grateful. They're all very humble. They're resilient, and all of them focus on the things they can control. These include leaders like Sundar Pichai, Michael Dell, and Nandan Nilenkani. Grateful, humble, resilient, and focused on what they can control. I learned the importance of gratefulness and resilience early in my life. I grew up in Sri Lanka during a 30-year civil unrest and ethnic conflict between the Sinhalese and the Tamils. My background is actually a mix of these two ethnic groups. I'm half Sinhalese and half Tamil. When I was 15, my brother and I narrowly escaped death. We were on our way home from school on the day that 50,000 Sri Lankans died. In front of us and behind us, people were pulled out of their cars and killed right in front of us. The only reason we were spared that day is because we were able to converse in both languages spoken during the conflict, and so we could speak the language they were looking for. That day has taught me that I'm simply grateful to be alive. A situation like that can also make you very hateful, but I chose not to be. I chose to be grateful instead. I wake up each morning, I'm alive and well, and I try and live my life to the fullest. It's an incredibly difficult time in the world today, and all of you might ask, why now, why me? But difficulties of all shapes and sizes will happen to you throughout your career, professional life, and personal life. This is not the first, and it's definitely not the last time that you will face adversity. You will have many big wins, but you will also have many setbacks. Learning how to cope and how to be resilient in the face of challenges will determine how successful you will be. The situation going on around us is primarily out of our control. However, there are many things you can control, like how you act, what you do, who you spend time with, how you treat others, how you react to situations. Actions you take, decisions you make, and how you make others feel. You can control how you build your professional reputation in relationships, your honesty and transparency with everyone you meet, and every transaction you make. You can be respectful to everyone. These cornerstones will ensure your personal and business success in decades to come. Ask yourself what you're doing every day to improve and focus on what you can control. If you do this every day, then the power of long-term thinking creates compounding growth. When I finished graduate school, I was laser focused on finding a job so that I could take care of my family, my mother and my younger brother. My father passed away when I was a teenager, and I wanted to really make sure that my family was taken care of. Interestingly, I wanted to work for a US automotive company, a manufacturing company that made cars, but I couldn't because none of them hired international students at the time. I ended up at McKinsey instead. And many years later, I found myself leading Google's business in India and Southeast Asia. If I had got that job at one of the US automotive companies, who knows what a completely different path I'd be on right now. So even if you can't control the exact job opportunity you want or the circumstances right now, there is a bigger part for you to play. When I find an opportunity for myself, I give it absolutely everything I've got. And I do it as long as I can and as long as I'm having a great time doing it. Whatever you choose to do it intensely, do it with gratitude, and give it enough time to really learn and grow through it. Pick something that you're excited about and really give it a go. Every job I've had, I've done it for years. I want you to change the world through your patience, determination, endurance, and innovation. I believe in moonshot thinking and big ideas. I believe that anything is possible. But when you think big, a lot of ideas fail and don't succeed. So if you want a lot of success, you have to be very comfortable with failure too. Your choices going forward will take you to places you can't even imagine right now. That's what's exciting about graduating. You have no idea where you'll be in years to come. With a combination of gratefulness, resilience, and focusing on what you can control, I have no doubt that each of you will go on to impact and change the world, your families, your teams, and most importantly, yourselves. Congratulations, class of 2020, and I wish all of you all the very best. Thank you.
I now invite our MGB graduate, Ashutosh Tulsian, to share his experience of his course.
Good day to the faculty, staff, guest of honor, and my dear friends. Firstly, congratulations to each one of you. We either scraped through or aced it, but most importantly, we made it. I'm so happy to be sharing this journey with each one of you, and indeed, it has been a special one. Many of us never stayed away from our families until we started this course. I still remember how much my roommates and I cried on our very first day at the Singapore campus. We felt like we were locked in a room full of strangers, and it was a new experience for all of us. But over time, I made wonderful friends with whom I shared the bread banana sessions, the weird peanut butter stories, the Marwari group, the surreal handwriting analysis and counseling sessions, to the real-life finance discussions. Every step, right from the icebreaker sessions to the 12 o'clock SPR submissions, the last-minute biometric attendance, the havoc created by FADM, the handwritten closed book management accounting exam, the crazy outings in Sydney, and the grilling heat in Dubai, all was a crazy journey. In Sydney, every week started with making plans for the upcoming weekend. Of the few things that I will always cherish from this course, first would be attending Professor Moradian's operation management classes. He taught from his real-life experience, and no one realized when the course got over. None of us wanted his classes to end, and indeed it was an overwhelming last day for all of us. Second would be getting the opportunity to attend Richard Coller's PRP sessions. He taught us something really beyond books and academics. Although his sessions were scheduled after classes, everyone looked forward to attending them as he made sure that we gained something out of it once we left the room. Most often, I was asked, why am I pursuing this master's degree even though I am a qualified CA? Initially, my answer to this was value addition, but now I can proudly say that this journey has made me step out of my comfort zone and made me a better person, personally and professionally. My SP Jain experience showed me that there is a whole new world outside, full of opportunities. We just need to go and grasp them. Had this been the old me, I would not be standing here in front of you and sharing my experience with you. To end my address, I would like to quote Lucius Seneca's quote, "Every new beginning comes from some beginning's end." So this day marks the beginning of our professional lives. With this, I wish each one of you the very best and hope we cross paths soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Sashitosh. So now it's the turn of one of our GMBA graduates, Shruti Danwanthari, to share her experiences.
Good afternoon to all the wonderful student bodies, staff and leadership at SP Jain. Greetings to all of our loved ones who are watching with us and far away from us. And finally, a big hello to our legendary class of 2019. I am both honored to have the opportunity and flattered to be speaking in the company of some truly gifted folks who form our cohort of 2019. I never imagined having a virtual commencement ceremony, but I remain positive, grateful and privileged to be graduating into this changed world, with all of you, of course. Education indeed has no boundaries. We all started our time at SP Jain sailing into the unknown. We came from different parts of the globe, we have had different backgrounds, and we have all had different reasons for the million-dollar question, why an MBA? Yet, we came together and we made it one of the most memorable experiences that 2019 had to offer. We discovered so many beautiful cultures in 3 contrastingly unique landscapes. We made innumerable GIP survey questionnaires. We went through countless sleepless nights, successfully pulling off SBRs in the last minute. And we drove each other crazy with our differences in opinion. And believe me, there were many, much like in the real life. But we learned, we unlearned, and we relearned. When I think about our time at SP Jain, I also think about how, along with our MBA degrees, we also earned a degree in table tennis, pool, and a few other skills that I think are best left unmentioned here. What I cannot miss to mention is the connections that we made. Through all of those late nights, meeting deadlines and whatnot, and through all the struggles and triumphs, we formed the thickest of friendships and relationships. For that alone, I'm grateful. At this point, I would also like to thank all of the faculty and professors who share their vast knowledge with us. If asked who our favorite professor was, I'm sure all of us have more than one legend to talk about and thank. I'm also grateful to every member of the SP Jain family who have played a role in making our lives easier and better during this time. I also want to take this virtual stage to acknowledge the gravity of this global crisis that we are collectively living through, and the many atrocities that face the world even as I speak. To all the brave hearts who stand strong during these times, I have so much gratitude and respect for you. Class of 2019, we have come a long way, and today, more than ever, I hope we remain nimble and weather through the storm together with grace and humility. As a final note of farewell, I congratulate each one of us on this graduation day and look forward to what the future holds. To quote one of the wisest persons I know, a certain wizard named Gandalf, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and cheers to adding yet another feather to our caps.
Thanks, Shruti. I'd now like to invite one of our EMBA graduates, Yamini Pudipatia, for her experiences during her course.
Warm greetings, Chief Guest of Honor, Dean Dr. Gary, distinguished faculty members, ladies and gentlemen. Special welcome to the graduating class of EMBA Batch 16, as well as other graduating students and the families. I would first and foremost like to offer everyone graduating today a resounding congratulations. This is a milestone worth celebrating. Regardless of COVID-19 situation, we did it. MBA is a badge of honor that I will wear with pride. We have all accomplished a major goal in our lives. This achievement speaks volumes about our commitment towards learning and focus towards achieving greatness. EMBA is no joke. It's not a low-hanging fruit that we can take up during our free time. It requires a clear vision and focus like a hawk and perseverance of a tiger. I signed up for MBA as a caterpillar to feed on knowledge. With every subject I fed on, I transformed a little bit into a pupa. And today is my rebirth as butterfly, symbolizing my complete transformation into a new and better version of me. The business world is expected to undergo a sea change. The business models emerge. I can confidently say that we are now better skilled and can sail through the rough sea, thrive in a cutthroat business world, and not just survive. Looking back, I'm happy to make the right decision at the right time by joining SP Jain's EMBA program. Dr. Gary. I would like to sincerely thank him for instilling the concepts of business strategy and laying a foundation for us. This foundation helped us a lot in Global Immersion Project GIP as well. Dr. Veena, the most humble person I have ever come across. She was our guiding force throughout, and as a fitting finale, we were lucky for her to have taught the last course. Thank you for being there always with us, ma'am. Dr. Mary was the icing on the cake for Batch 16. I will always fondly recollect the business economic class and the interesting conversations that we had around global world economics. You're one of the reasons for most of us to complete the ABR on time. Thank you. We are fortunate to have had some wonderful professors who took us through amazing case studies and made a profound impact on me and the rest of our class. Here, I would like to reflect on Professor Ram Kumar. I was awestruck with his teaching methods, the examples cited, and what we could achieve with good marketing. If I chose marketing as my major, it was because of his persona and belief that wonders could be created by good marketers. As an engineering student, accounting was Greek and Latin to me, and numbers always made me little uncomfortable. Professor Manik and Professor Vittal, with their unique and witty ways of teaching methods, make me feel at ease and overcome my fear for numbers. And of course, this will apply to Professor Aravind as well. Linear programming is my favorite part. I also want to thank my ABR mentor Dr. Kumar and Pushpa for their support and guidance to complete my research. GIP was a fantastic journey. During the project, we used the skills learned to analyze the company in depth, to identify opportunities, strategic failures, and proposed roadmaps for the future. This project made us realize how strategy could make or break the company. I must also mention that I share a special bond with my GIP team. We are probably the only team to keep our GIP WhatsApp group alive. We are indeed a special batch, fun-loving, cohesive, and diverse, with students from across Europe and Asia. We come from a variety of industries. We are competitive. We support each other. We care for each other. We are vocal. We are united. And of course, we are super fun together. We are Batch 16. I have seen unbelievable transformation in so many of our batchmates, be it Aparna, our ideal student, and my very good friend. She learned to chill a little and realized that grades were not everything, while Ravi started off on a shaky footing, but with time and perseverance, transformed into a better person of himself ready to scale great heights. And to my fellow batch 16 girls, you rock. We are the most confident, smart, and beautiful. Even during the circuit breaker, we kept in touch and made fun videos to keep the momentum going on. Guys, you are yet to catch up. We treasure wonderful memories through events like birthday parties, holy party, family functions, and many more, which I will cherish for life. I thank Nancy and our beloved PR committee for taking these initiatives. I must say, my negotiation skills are par excellence. I'm even considering career in this field. I thank not just our negotiation and conflict management professor, Hansel D'Souza, but also my fellow academic committee members. The academic committee was a bridge between students, professors, and program office, ensuring a smooth learning experience to all. It would be incomplete if I do not thank our program office champions, Caroline and Nisha. They were with us during every step of this 18-month journey. To conclude, there will always be naysayers. Some may say dreams do not bear fruits unless weather conditions are favorable. While economists may be pessimistic and predicting a huge economic downturn, I, as a business student, foresee a tectonic shift in traditional business models, and the current situation is an opportunity to create wonders. As the saying goes, every beginning has an end, and every end has a new beginning. Today might be last day for some of us as students at a business school, but I believe our learning will start from today. It's time to zoom ahead. Thank you. All the best. Stay safe. Stay strong.
Thanks, Yamini. And now it's the turn of one of our DBA graduates, Dr. Ritu Gupta. Please share your experiences.
Guest of Honour, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Dr. Clifford Blake, President Nitish Jain of SP Jain, Deans of all programs, faculty, alumni, families, and my fellow graduates. Good morning. My name is Ritu Gupta, and I am beyond honoured to be speaking on behalf of all the graduates today. Honestly, I was quite anxious when I was asked to deliver the speech online, because I feared that my otherwise dry sense of humour will only come across drier online. Besides, I felt the pressure of writing a speech such that my transcripts are not withheld by SPJ. Jokes apart, I felt the pressure of writing a speech which encapsulates the emotions of all the graduating students today. Many of us met 3 years back in the SPJ auditorium at the orientation. And today, after 3 years, a lot has changed. We learned a lot. We learned not only the requisite course material, but also a lot about ourselves. We unlearned. We studied. We finished the thesis, the research, the journey which consumed us mentally, emotionally, physically, every single day. The thought of quitting the program crossed our minds very often, because the finish line, this very day of graduation, seemed very distant and far. But we sailed through. We sailed through, and we must, and we would like to thank SP Jain for teaching us 2 very important values: tenacity and consistency. Echoing the words of Charles Dickens from The Tale of Two Cities, we had the best of times, we had the worst of times. In retrospect, we have a lot to be thankful for. For starters, praise the Lord. It's because of Him that we are here today. Coming in a strong second, we would like to thank some of the most wonderful people who make up institutions like these. Dean, of Research, Dr. Sitaraman, and Deputy Director of the doctoral program, Dr. Madhulity. We respect you immensely and sincerely for your knowledge, your modesty, and your dedication. You too have been the guiding light of this journey. Also, we would like to extend a special thanks to President Jain for allowing us to bounce ideas off him and for his thoughtful words of reassurance every time the journey seemed very long and tiring. And today, we are the very first batch of the doctoral program that's graduating. So congratulations to you and your team, Mr. Jain. And today, we share your joy and your happiness. Not to forget our dear batchmates who always helped us sail through, no matter where their boats reached. We also recognize the sacrifices made by our families, the compromises that they had to make, and we ineffably are grateful to them for believing in us and in our education. I would like to take this opportunity to especially thank my parents-in-law, and my husband for walking with me through this journey. And my son Garv, 7-year-old, he has been the love behind the words on my thesis. Graduation, meaning commencement. So today, as we close this one chapter of our lives, another chapter commences. With a degree in hand, we have a lot to risk. We risk the oblivion. We risk making the wrong choices. We risk disappointing people whom we love. We risk, most importantly, by not trying hard enough in these days of the COVID pandemic. I mean, who could have ever imagined having an online graduation like this, the need and the possibility? So while COVID gives some of us ample opportunities to immediately take off, it does give some of us ample time to think back and take the next step judiciously. And for me, it gives someone like me ample time to peacefully give birth to my second child. So this is the generation that has to deal with it all. I was looking for inspiration for the speech, and I thought the words of Henry Ford, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. So I would like to leave you here with this thought. Congratulations once again as we make our impact on our societies, locally and globally. And good luck for a future full of opportunities. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Ritu, for sharing your experiences with us. Well, I'd now like to invite the Dean of our MGB and GMBA programs, Dr. Balakrishna Gandhi, who will announce the President's Awards for Global Excellence. I'd also like to invite our President, Mr. Nitish Jain, to assist in presenting the awards to our deserving winners.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm now pleased to announce the President's Award for Global Excellence. This is awarded after some very objective assessment of all the students, both in the MGB and the GMBA cohorts. We have shortlisted several students by talking to the faculty who have taught them. We have also talked to the program teams and those involved in organizing global learning, the corporate relations team, across all the 3 campuses that they have been to: Dubai, Singapore, and Sydney. On the basis of the feedback, we have identified many, and we have once again sent them across for evaluating on a set of parameters and scored these. I'm very pleased to announce one awardee for the GMBA program and the other for the MGB program. We believe the two that have been chosen in this objective manner are going to be very proud ambassadors of SP Jain School of Management. Let me now give you a little heads up about the one that has been chosen to be awarded the Global Citizen Award for the GMBA cohort. This gentleman never traveled outside India before he joined the program. His first flight out of India was to Singapore when he joined the program. He worked with a public sector bank for 9 years. My God, he has transformed himself. He has, in fact, one of the very first to have made it through several rounds and got a plum position with a globally reputed consulting company, Sida Consulting. He is from the consulting management stream. He is always supportive, ready to help others, and he has been a very active member of the Student Academic Committee. His immersion projects were very commendable, and they were showcasing how our students can really apply concepts and frameworks to solve real-world problems. Like I said, this is an award for someone who is an all-round personality and can truly be a brand ambassador for the school. And he is none other than Nitin Kanogia. I'm now pleased to announce the recipient of the President's Award for Global Excellence from the MGB cohort. To give you a heads up, this gentleman was the president of the placement committee, very actively interfacing with the corporate relations team, and he held always the interests of his classmates ahead of his own. He was the backbone of the cohort, and he has an amazing curiosity to keep learning, always ready to take feedback from others, and made an effort to improve himself. He was also very supportive in identifying and working with the team in industry immersion projects. He does demonstrate a very fine, holistic attitude. Well, friends, that is none other than Vivek Agarwal.
I would now like to invite Dr. Gary Stockport, the Dean of our EMBA program, to announce the deserving President's Award winners for our EMBAs.
As Dean EMBA, I am very proud to mention the President Award for Global Excellence for a student on the EMBA program. This award is given for non-academic achievement, i.e., it's given for a wider value-adding role that the student has contributed over the past 18 months. It might be for being a batch rep or a member of the Students' Committee. It might be for taking part in Toastmaster Club and being a member of Toastmasters Committee. It might be for helping marketing. It might be for playing a wider brand role. There are many things that we take into account in awarding this award to a student. To nominate a student, I've asked for feedback across the campuses from the deputy directors, from the marketing office, from the alumni office, from faculty, even from some batchmates, about their views about nominating. It's been a very difficult decision, but one student has stood out for his all-round contributions the past 18 months. This student is from Singapore. He's from batch number 16. He started his EMBA in September 2018. I'm very proud to announce the winner of the President's Award for Global Excellence goes to Mohammed Mustafa Rashid. Very well done, Mohammed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite the Chairman of the Board of Directors, Emeritus Professor Clifford Blake, to formally declare the convocation proceedings closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the name of the Board of Directors, I declare this congregation of the SP Jain School of Global Management closed.
Well, I mentioned before that today for our students is the culmination of a long time of hard work, diligence, sacrifice, and all the things that go with achieving a graduate degree. But I know, there's been a little fun along the way, so now it's our great pleasure to present a very short film that captures, in many ways, the student experiences across all our SP Jain campuses. And I'm sure this will bring back and also sustain many, many fond memories now and into the future.
Convocation days. Special days with special memories. I walk back to reflect on all the beautiful moments that you enjoyed with people who came from different parts of the world and then united, connected to form one great, beautiful community of friendship, of values, of interesting moments, learning, collaborating, exploring, and identifying new relationships, new special moments, and moments which you never thought will come back to you, but brought back with snapshots of fond remembrances with friends who would now be unique connections for the rest of your life. Attempts at the culinary arts, exploration of different cultures and traditions, games and sports, to enjoy those special moments and understand that life isn't complete without those beautiful connections, human connections. And celebrating those special days with people who were there. celebrating our joy, celebrating our magical moments, and celebrating different colors, different cultures, and different talents, all for the sake of friendship, all for the sake of relationships, and then time to relax, time for those happy snoozes, time after a busy day to relax and look forward to another day of learning, another day of discovery, another day of exploration, of new ideas, new concepts to be tested, tried, experimented in the big world of business. And then, when it's time to look back and recall the warm connections, the warm friendships, and the special moments that really matter, those days, well, those were those days. Will they ever come back? Would we be able to repeat this again? Those beautiful lingering thoughts and memories, dreams from different destinations, dreams to go beyond, dreams to think beyond. And then, when circumstances suddenly change, the beautiful spirit of human resilience, even though things look empty, vacant, meaningless, we know that it's still the opportunity and the ability to fly, soar high, and reach new great heights. Amazing memories, lasting a lifetime.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, graduates, that brings to an end our 2020 graduation ceremony, our virtual 2020 graduation ceremony. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed putting it together for you. We hope you've had a memorable experience. And as we all move forward into a world that's probably changed forever, in some ways, I know, we know, that you will face these challenges and you will go forward and have a great, fulfilling and wonderful life. Always remember these words. Hard work does pay off. Dreams certainly come true. Bad times never last, but tough people always do. It's been a great pleasure. On behalf of everybody at SP Jain, thank you again and have a wonderful day and enjoy the ongoing celebrations. Thank you and goodbye.